What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Rusto Mod. We have been out of the shop for quite a while, but we're ready to get back to work because we are running out of time on our 1959 four-wheel drive F250. Now, if you missed the last few episodes of this build series, let me give you a quick rundown to show you guys what we have done to this awesome pickup truck behind me. So we started with a 1959 Ford F250, and the truck was super cool, but it was the first year for factory four-wheel drive, and all that old original suspension wasn't going to cut it. So what we did was we yanked the body off the 1959 and we placed it on top of a 1994 7.3 liter turbo diesel F250. So that way we have a lot more modern drivetrain in this build, and we have an awesome 7.3 reliable turbo diesel. So in the last few episodes, we have started the wiring. We actually fired it up for the first time on the last episode, and we started tackling our American Auto Wire harness that we're going to be putting in this build, and our US shift transmission controller that we're also going to be putting in this build. So let me show you guys what we got done so far, and then I'll show you guys what we got to do in this episode. So we had the Rambler deadline to get it ready for Power Tour. We didn't make that one, so I really want to make this one for the Patina party. But we have a lot of work to do on this build. So after we got done with Hot Rod Power Tour, we came in here over the weekend and we just started going crazy with the wiring. So over the weekend, we went ahead and we just started wiring this engine. So we got almost all of the wires and everything ran to where they need to go. They aren't hooked up yet, but they're just sitting there in place. So we got like our temperature sensor, we got our oil pressure sensor, we have all the stuff for the cold start on the 7.3, we have our power wire, we have all the engine stuff basically done except for our glow plug control module, which we just have to hook that up and that will be in place. That's one of the last things we have to do to be able to put the front clip back on. So a lot of the stuff under the hood is pretty much done. So on the inside, that's where a lot of progress has been made. We ran all the wires through on the inside. We can see here, we have our US shift box mounted in there, and we have all the wires hooked up to it. So we have our throttle position sensor and all the transmission harness run through the firewall to our box here, and then all the other things like the tach and a few other engine sensors that we needed for this to work. So that's hooked up in there. That's going to be controlling our shift parameters in our transmission. You can see our American Auto Wire fuse box mounted in there. So all the wires for this are going to our fuse box. So now we're just going through and sorting out what needs to go where, because there's a ton of wires inside here that we're going to have to hook up to all of our gauges, our key, our windshield wipers, our fan, and a bunch of other stuff like that. Now, if you notice, I actually did go through and I made a little sturdy plate for our shifter. So our shifter is working good. Our transfer case shifter is working good. But this little sheet metal cover I made was just flexing too much whenever you put pressure on it. So I went ahead and made a little plate for that, so it adds some strength to it. So we got that tackled. So all of that in the inside, we got to tidy up. But one other big thing we got done is we finished wiring our gauges. So these were those Dolphin gauges that I got on Amazon or eBay, and the American Auto Wire harness is actually really cool because we were able to wire the entire thing outside of the truck, and the American Auto Wire harness has connectors on it. So to be able to remove the whole gauge panel, all you have to do is unhook a few of these connectors, and then the entire thing will come out and you can get behind the dash. So we got all the wiring tackled on all of our gauges. All we have to do is plug it in and hook it up, and these will be ready to be installed. But before we install those gauges, we got a lot of stuff to tackle underneath the dash to get that ready to go. So while my dad is gonna wire up underneath the dash, I'm gonna be working on the front clip because I have to get our inner fenders made, and that way we can put the front clip back on, and then we have to tackle some more things under the hood. But we have to find a place to mount our batteries, and I want to get that whole front clip on there because that's probably where our batteries are going to mount. So I threw the front clip on the back of the C60, and I ended up taking it up to the big shop where my buddy Justin ended up cutting out some panels that I can use for the inner fenders. So on this truck, the inner fenders mount on a bunch of mounting holes through the fender on this side, and then you can actually see the original inner fender where that originally mounted there. Now I kept that because I wanted to put something in place of that and kind of use that to bolt to. So we cut out these panels kind of out of some scrap that we had laying around, and I ended up rolling them so that way it kind of fit the profile of the fender and then that radius that we have on the front there. So what I'm gonna do is, these bolts are all rusted and I have to cut them off, so I have to do that. But what I'm planning on doing is sliding this underneath that fender there, and then hopefully I can riv nut it, trim this a little bit and riv nut it to this panel here. So that way we have a full inner fender, and that'll give us a spot to be able to mount some brackets and stuff that we need for under the hood. But it's gonna be a lot easier for me to do this when it's up on the truck, because this is a lot of stuff that's in the middle here that I don't really know where it is. So we're gonna throw this front clip back on the truck. I'm gonna try to fit these up and see how it looks. All right, well, we finished up. This is the glow plug controller, so we got that all hooked up. We got our oil pressure sensor and everything tightened down, all the sensors that we had to wire up. So all those are running real nicely here in this harness that runs up here, goes around there and into where our fuse box is and this grommet here. So that worked out really good. So I think that's it for the engine. There's really not a lot of stuff to hook up on here. Now what we're gonna try to do is put the front clip back on, and then we have all of this harness to run for our headlights and everything. But like I said, I want to get those inner fenders on there first, so that way we have a place to mount the inner harness and all the rest of the stuff to those inner fenders. All right, so we got the front clip put back on, and our inner fenders, now that the front clip is on, they're gonna be really hard to get into place. So you can see I oversized them, but for that to slide in there, it's gonna be a pain in the butt, because we have the shock tower here and this hood latch thing. I didn't think about that, but that is gonna be in the way also. So what we were talking about is I'm gonna have to make these in two pieces anyway, because the cab kind of pushes down that way towards the body mount there. Same thing on this side. And I want to make it as easy as possible to work on. So what we're discussing is maybe I'll just cut these in half and then slide them together and riv nut them down. That way I can remove the front panel or the rear panel or whatever I need to do, because a lot of this stuff is going to be a lot harder to reach once these are in place. So at least that'll give me some access if I have to get to the brakes or the power steering lines or something like that down on the side of the engine. All right, we got these inner fenders kind of sitting there in place. So now you can kind of see what that's going to look like with that radius going down there. And then I have it lined up pretty close to that old piece that was attached to the core support. So that turned out pretty good. It is kind of a pain to get in, but you just got to find a good way to get it, and it pops right into place. So if you look at the other side, that side is right on top of the frame rail. It's the same on this side too. So the back piece here, I am going to have to trim up a little bit to get to the brake lines, so that'll be our removable panel in case we have to get to something over there on that side. More likely pulling that side out to get to the starter. So that is nice. These can now remove while the front clip is on the car. All right, so check this out. So I flipped batteries around this way, and I'm trying to get it underneath of this because the hood comes down and it comes like right on top of here. So if I flip them in here, it tucks right underneath that pretty well. And these inner fenders, now that they're bolted down, are pretty strong. I also have a brace that runs this way along the core support. So if I make a battery tray that kind of kicks up back here, runs flat across here, and then bolt it here to the core support, and then bolt it along that brace, I think that'll be plenty strong. It's gonna look kind of like that, but it is a little cumbersome because it's kind of blocking your access to the engine bay. But I want to be able to jump this thing because these are not known for starting the quickest, so I want to be able to jump it as easy as possible. So that's what we're looking like. I got the radiator in there, so clearance for that is pretty good. We are still working on the interior wiring. He's working on that right now, trying to hook all that stuff up. That's pretty much what it's going to look like. These are going to be painted black, and then I got to make some battery trays. So once we get that all tied down, we can start working on this harness, which is going to go to our front clip. So all of our headlights, I have some different lights for the bottoms there. I actually have different headlights too, so we can start working on all that stuff. For our little turn signals, I'm kind of thinking I am going to put these aux beam lights in behind there because I will need some light, and especially if this thing, if it's in the dark, I want as much light as possible. So these fit really good in where that turn signal is, but I'm not going to have turn signals. So the headlights that I got actually have the turn signal in the bottom of here, just like we had on the Willys wagon, kind of doing the same thing. But to kind of hide this, if I turn this on, that thing is pretty bright. So I'm really happy about that. But I have the original covers that go over that. So to make it look more factory, I'm thinking of just putting that over top there. I'm gonna get some new ones. Maybe they'll be a bit more clear. These ones are pretty dirty and just kind of faded. So if I put some new ones on there, they're still very bright and it kind of hides it. So I think that'll look pretty cool. For right now, we have a lot of the wiring tackled. So the engine is completely wired. We got that knocked out. We got our battery cables run up to where they're kind of going to be. So now that we got the engine bay kind of closed off, we want to make sure everything works. So we're going to temporarily hook up the batteries again and throw all the fuses in the fuse box and hook all the power wires that we need, since the only thing that's not hooked up is lights. And we're going to make sure that the motor turns over. We might be able to see if it runs again and just check everything that we've done so far. That way, if we got to pull it all back apart, it's a good time to pull it apart now versus when we have the whole thing finalized. So I'm going to throw these batteries in there. We're going to make some battery terminals, make sure those are all hooked up pretty good, and then try to see if all the wiring we've done so far works. Alright, so we got our batteries hooked up, and we have just the harness from inside hooked up to the batteries. We got the engine is all wired up, so we're going to try to turn the key and see if we can hear the glow plug relay click. That'll let the glow plugs run for like, I think it's 10 seconds or something. So turn the key and see if we can hear it click. Oh, yep, you hear that clicking. See if you just bump it real quick, see if it's... Alright, cool. It spins. That's good. All right, well, it runs, and that's probably the longest I've actually had it running, which is pretty cool. I don't want to run it too long again because it has no coolant in it, but at least it did fire up with the wiring harness that we had installed. So it looks like the gauges are working. Like I said, I didn't want to run it too long and I'm by myself, so checking everything back and forth. It looks like there's some of the gauges are reading, but at least that gives me a good sign to know that one, the glow plug harness is working and that all works pretty good. I do have to hook up my transmission cooler because that thing was leaking all over the place. I just have that looped right now, so it looks like I'm gonna need some new cooler lines. I cleaned that up with some super clean, so that's taken care of, but we gotta hook up the transmission cooler and that's gonna be the next big thing, is getting all that stuff primed. Finally, my battery trays have come in. Sorry if you guys can hear my air conditioning running. It is 100 and something degrees outside, so I need that thing on. But I finally got these in, so now we can start trying to figure out where to actually place these batteries. So where I had that one over there, kind of facing this way, is what I really want to do. So I found these trays pretty cheap on Amazon, so I don't have to make anything. But I am still gonna have to make something because I need to figure out how to mount this. So we got our inner fender in there and we have our core support here, but I have this little brace that runs across the core support there. So I got this piece of aluminum tubing, and what I'm thinking is I'm gonna try to get as much meat as I can on this inner core support brace thing. So I'm gonna screw it down to here with some bolts, through bolt it. And then I'm gonna figure out a way to mount this tube to the inner fender on this side. So that'll let me mount it diagonally. It'll cover as much space as I can, and it'll mount the battery tray, something like that. All right, guys, well, our two batteries are mounted into place and it worked out pretty good with that piece of angle, and they're at a very, very good height. I really like the way that this looks. Originally, I wasn't crazy about having them up this high in the engine bay just because it kind of blocks some things, but it's gonna be a lot easier to change this and run all of our electrical stuff to these two batteries right here. So trying to keep it as factory positional as possible, and I think it worked out pretty good. I'd like to keep going, but I've just run out of parts. I don't want to pull the inner fenders out just yet because I still have a few more holes that I want to drill and mount some other things that I'm waiting on. So you'll have to see what we're gonna do in the next episode. I'm gonna rip out the inner fenders, mount everything to them, paint them black, put them back in, and our engine bay should be pretty much ready to go. Then we can start figuring out our wiring harness for the front. So make sure you guys stay tuned for the rest of the Sasquatch episodes. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the projects we have here on Rustomod. Also, if you guys want to see this in person, make sure you come out to our Patina Party Car Show August 8th at Maryland International Raceway. So we'll hope to see you there, but we'll see you guys in the next one.